Hi,
Hello.
everyone.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Hello,
Here we are.
And welcome to our Drag Race Television LA weekly recap of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13. This is episode 8, social media, the Unverified Rusical. Joining me today, everybody's here. Yay! We have Jackie in the house.
Hey, everyone.
We have Miss Jayla.
Hey. I'm back again.
That cutie patootie Ollie's here.
Hey.
He's the one everybody says, hey, who's the cute guy on your show? And I assume they're not talking about me. So, and Tez is here as well.
We have plenty of cute people here.
And Tez, hello, Tez.
Hey, fresh off the road from Palm Springs.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us. We are over 250 subscribers on YouTube. We're at like 260 something. So we're getting so close to 300. Thank you guys. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go click the subscribe button and click the bell if you want to get notified when we go live and when we're doing all kinds of fun things. Also, the last 2 YouTube reviews are almost 900 views, which is outstanding. Our other ones are like 300-400. So the last 2, I think people are starting to find us now. So thank you guys. And thank you to everybody who shares and retweets our links. We really do appreciate it. It does help us to get the word out. There's more people in the chat room than for you to talk with. So please share whenever you guys can. And thank you to everybody on the podcast too. I don't think I give enough credit to our podcast listeners. Thank you all for listening. And we're gonna have, I think it's gonna be a good show. We got some possible new romance brewing in the room. This may be another Brooklyn Vanjie type thing that we will discuss. Also, the debate. Is it yellow or orange? We will get to it all later in the show. But first and foremost, what did we all think of this week's episode? Let's start with Tez.
I feel like we're all real. Who's gonna
Yes,
Drum
spin the
roll.
wheel.
Tez, you go first.
I'll keep it short and sweet. The episode was okay. Like, I just gonna say that the challenge itself was, I feel bad for the girls that they were given that. But I think for what was given, they performed well. I'll say that.
Okay. Jayla, what did you think?
I have to say that I absolutely adore this episode. And also, let me say something first before we get into the episode. I cannot stop staring at you, Lorayne Love. Like, you look so amazing tonight. I'm just like starstruck. But ultimately, the episode I adored. I feel like nobody did bad, but we'll talk about it.
Okay, Jackie, what did you think of the episode?
I loved it. I loved that there were rehearsals in the episode that I could watch. I love a good Rusical, so I like that there was singing and dancing. I was also happy as a fan of Rosé that Rosé got her first win, so that was fun for me too.
Ollie, what'd you think?
I'll be the villain of this podcast. I was upset no one went home. I'm just gonna say it. I was upset just because we already had three episodes, no one going home, and I was here for it. But of course, I think I'm just salty because you couldn't save La La Ree after that amazing lip sync with her and Elliot. Or what about our girl Tamisha?
Yeah.
But I think, we'll talk about it later. Other than that, the episode had me up until that point. I think I'm just kind of like salty, like watching Drag Race UK and getting heartbroken when a queen does go home, and then like we get a save here where I'm like, come on, we got to get this thing going, y'all. The episode 12 we're at right now. But other than that, like, I'm interested in seeing where this will lead, if this is going to cause drama. But I enjoyed the Rusical nonetheless, I will say.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm kind of with you, Ollie. I don't know if Drag Race UK is spoiling the US version for me because I watched the UK one. I'm happy. I'm loving it. I'm rewatching the episodes. And then I don't even want to rewatch ours to do the outline for this show. And I mean, it was good. We'll discuss more.
I feel like all of our opinions are all over the map today. So hopefully by the end of this episode, we can have some unity and peace.
We'll have it all figured out. And thank you everybody who's in the chat room. We have some, John Gaga is here live, Melody, Chucky Chuck, of course. My friend Jimmy's in there, Japple, Prince and Porto, Novell, Koss. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. KH, thank you, KH, for the compliment. Oh, Ollie's in there too. Okay. All right, so let's just remind everybody what happened last week. Last week was the 4th elimination of the season, and it was the Bossy Rossi After Dark Improv Maxi Challenge and the Beat It Runway.
Now, can you say that 3 times? Bossy Rossi After Dark.
I barely said it once. Unfortunately, another fan favorite went home. La Ree sashayed away, and Olivia Lux gained her 2nd win of the season, 2 in a row. That was last week. So this week after elimination, when they came back into the workroom, there really wasn't that much at the top of the episode then and when they came back in the next day. The only stuff that I have written down was that Utica said that she wanted to start standing up for herself now because Olivia won, and that was the role she wanted. So she said she was gonna start standing up for herself, which she does, which we'll discuss later. And then she does, and then she she pays everybody a compliment, and then they're like, "Oh, you're so nice," and she said, "Oh, you want mean? I can't believe Olivia won with that wig line."
No, I was very concerned because I was like, does nobody else see this but me? And we always love our 4K HD TV here at Drag Race TV LA, all those acronyms. So when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, like wig line is all I saw. But I understood like the baby hairs and all the things like, for the fantasy. But I'm so glad that Utica called it out because I was like, I know we see the same thing, right?
Yeah. There was no mini challenge. It jumped right into the maxi challenge, which was, she made a comment that, when you come to Drag Race, we take your cell phones. We're not giving them back, but we're going to do the next best thing. We're going to do a musical about social media. So it was social media, the Unverified Rusical, epic tale where each play a role of a different social media platform. They record vocals and with Michelle and choreography with Jamaal Sims. Jackie, you must have been bouncing off the walls because you got not just a choreo rehearsal, a voice rehearsal. So what did you think of all that, Jacque Borosski?
I do, I can't remember if Candy said this in Untucked or on the episode, but she felt, this is what's so exciting about the rehearsal. It's like sometimes the rehearsal plays with your expectations a little bit, and I really enjoy that. And Candy seemed to do okay in the rehearsals. And then when you saw it live, you were just like, ooh, that was harsh. Whereas like Simone, it was hard in the rehearsals, and then it was hard when it came to the reality, and sometimes people overcome that and sometimes they don't. The same thing. I thought Utica was in real danger because her rehearsal seemed really rough. And I was also excited that Michelle, sometimes they're just there with a guest host. I actually really like it when they're there with Michelle because I think Michelle can judge them better later on after having some one-on-one personal time with them, because I do think the judging has gotten better this season, but in past seasons, I know that we've kind of felt like, well, we're not getting where Michelle is coming from, because we've seen everything else the queens have been doing. So it's kind of nice for Michelle to have that one-on-one time with them. So I feel like when she's judging them kind of from more of a place of understanding them versus just seeing them on the runway.
Yeah. Jayla, I'll ask you, there was, because they had to cast it themselves, there was a little argument about who was going to play the Foxy role, and they decided to let them audition, which I thought was an interesting choice. What did you think of that, Jayla?
I have to give the producers major props for having that happen. Of course, they didn't think of that themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I'm being truthful and honest. I thought it was a great thing to do because also at the end of the day, like I said, this whole competition is an audition. So why not have them audition for this? I say this every week. Everything that they do is an audition, right?
Yeah.
So having this proves me right that may the best woman win. I'm sorry, may the best drag queen win. And I thought that Rose did better.
Yeah, I thought she did too. Anybody else want to comment on that situation?
I just want to comment. I thought Rose did better as well. But I mean, Denali, I'll just say poor Denali.
Yeah.
Because
be careful. Be careful.
Listen,
she's coming for you, Henny.
Attack me. That's fine. What I'm saying is she did have that first win, and so because of that, I don't think it boosted her ego, but it gave her like, well, I still have a place in this race. But realistically, since that first win, she's kind of just, and she's done well, but to the judges, she hasn't. So honestly, it's kind of gotten to her head, and she honestly never stood a chance against Rose, because Rose clearly has made it known that she can sing since episode 1 or 2, whenever they did the whatever that performance was. So I was like, oh, Denali, like good chance, but it's almost like, girl, you were just never going to win. But like Jayla said, I was like, who helped them do this? Like, who helped them come up with this to think like, let's just vote? I like how Tina Burner was like, I'm going to say Denali just basically be messy. Yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of Tina Burner anyway, but I like that she did that. So,
Ollie, I know you like Utica. When Rose was deciding, she said, "Well, I'll give up Foxy, but I'll take Lady Tweets." And Utica jumped in and said, no, I'm keeping it. What did you think of that, Ollie?
I was so proud of her because obviously she's been in the bottom twice now, twice in a row. So I'm thinking, okay, she's got to, if she's not going to do well in this, first and foremost, I believe in her, as an artist. So she's got to do well in this. And I was happy that she was safe this week. But I was really proud of her as a viewer. I'm like, okay, she's super nice queen, but also you need to stand up for yourself. I don't want her to be like a doormat to the rest of the girls, and the girls think that they could, walk all over her, this, that, the third, and give her whatever. So I was surprised and very proud that she was able to kind of like say, no, Denali, this is mine. I'm going to stick to my guns. I chose this. It's going to be very difficult, this part, as we saw in the rehearsal process. But I was very, very proud as a Utica stan that she was able to do a very good, successful job.
Anybody else have anything about that they wanted to say?
Well, in the end, it worked out for Denali. I mean, that was the other that was the other thing that I thought was cool, because sometimes when the queens lose out on that role that they're like really fighting for, they let it get into their head where they're like, and this is what I think happened to Utica last week, was she let it get into her head where she was like, that's what I wanted to do, and Denali was like, no, I'm not going to let this get into my head. I think, the pep talk with Anne Hathaway maybe helps.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say the Anne Hathaway talk, I feel like is what really helped, because I feel like if that had to happen, she probably would have been defeated. And I think that helped her specifically.
Yeah. And since Rue didn't come to the workroom, they got a video message from Miss Anne Hathaway, Academy Award winner, Anne Hathaway, to give them advice on doing the musical. And it did definitely everybody was kind of asking questions. I love that Denali didn't ask the questions. Everybody else was asking for her to kind of help her, which I actually thought was smart. And I do, I was thinking this the other day. I was like, I get that fighting is good TV. I get all that. But it's like, I want to watch Drag Race US like I watch UK, and I want them all to do well, and I want it to be these minuscule little issues that send somebody home instead of a big, like throwing people under the bus and letting them crash and burn. Like, I wish everybody would have like rallied around Simone and really helped her work on her vocal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that they did this. I actually appreciate the moment as much. I'm not a huge Anne Hathaway fan. But I actually ended up liking the segment. I thought it was it was a cute segment. Anybody else have anything more to say about that?
I have something to say. You don't like Anne Hathaway?
I'm not like, what?
I don't either.
Wow.
Oh my
I'm
god.
kind of indifferent to her.
You guys can follow me on Instagram and who is Jayla Roxx. That's 2 X's, 3 if you're nasty. I'm signing off.
Leave it in the comments. Are you a team Anne? Are you anti-Anne? Let us know.
It's not that I don't like her. It's that she's like Wonder Bread to me. I'm just like, if it's there, I guess I'll make a sandwich with it.
Yeah.
For all my listeners right now, I am shocked. I have no expression, no answer.
Chucky.
Okay,
Chucky
right.
Chuck said, hit the shade button.
Oh my God! Like, so our what about
Chucky Chuck is dying.
She brought Julie Andrews to us, to our new generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
well, for me, I grew up in Germany, so Julie Andrews was like something I knew way before Anne Hathaway because she did Sound of Music. So,
right. But like for 90s kids like me, Julie Andrews was Princess Diary 1 and 2 and 3 coming soon. And like, and she's Devil's Wears Prada. Like Anne Hathaway is that girl.
Catwoman.
She's Catwoman. Right. Like, what's happening, guys? Are we having a disagreement here?
But more importantly, she's like a huge fan of Drag Race. Like she loves Shangela. Have you ever seen her on that? What was it? The Tonight Show? And like Ru surprised her. And I think it was the Tonight Show. And she was like, I love your show. I love you. I love Monet Exchange. Like she is a huge fan of the show.
Yes.
And I think that's the most important thing. Like, yeah, she's this incredible actor.
Okay.
But
all
like,
in favor, raise of hands. Everybody say I if we love Anne Hathaway. Jayla says I.
Ollie says I.
Lorayne says I, but with 3 T's.
All right, moving on. Sorry.
Moving on. Yes, to answer the chat room, yes, Jayla is wearing a Silky Nutmeg Ganache t-shirt.
Oh, yes. Oh, here we go.
Also, I just wanted to say, I think it was Prince and Porto who said that they were given just a little for later if it comes up. Utica said on Instagram Live that production gave them the costumes for the Rusical. So
we can tell. We can definitely tell.
And she said they did have a hard time finding something for Simone. That's what was said in the comment. So just keep that in mind. You know, it's always something whether we want to accept it or not. Sometimes you know, production has a hand in what choices are made. For the vocal and choreography rehearsals, just some highlights. Olivia, I think, sang better than people were expecting from their reactions. I think she sang a lot better than I was expecting. Simone and Utica struggled with both the vocals and the dancing, at least what we saw.
But let me say something. Can I say something right there?
Yeah.
When I watched that scene between Simone and Utica struggling, you know, like in the past, we've always seen the girls, even with Tamisha, when she was doing the ho ho ho, like it made it seem like she's definitely doing bad in this challenge.
Right.
Like I was definitely fooled that the editing of this, like them doing bad, quote unquote, would be their redemption in the challenge. But watching it together, I was like, oh, so they did do bad. There was no good takes at all. So I was like having faith in those two, like to like pull it through in the final edit, because that's what they always do. But we have nothing to give for when they both did. Huh.
Well, I thought considering and having seen what we saw of Utica, I was very pleasantly surprised with her.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
I think she had one of the hardest parts, just having to do that, not just record that, but then lip sync it as well and do the choreography that she was given. I thought it was a great character for her to do. Like, I felt like it really fits. It was funny because watching it, I felt like most everybody did well.
Yeah, everybody did good.
Yeah, Simone, you knew right away when the vocals came on, you were like, okay. And you could see it. You could see it in her face. What did Rue say? I thought it was really intelligent what Rue said. She said, you didn't, what was it? You didn't get outshined. You didn't.
Oh, it was like you didn't shine at all or something like that.
No, it was like you didn't get outperformed. You didn't shine. I think that's what it was. Something like that. And I thought it was very smart because it wasn't that she got outperformed. I think she just got in her head and and it happens, live performances, that kind of stuff happens. Sometimes you have a bad one. What's
You're
that?
talking about Simone?
Yeah.
So I want to go back for a second. I think you said something about like multiple edits. I think there were multiple edits. Only because I saw a scene specifically where Candy's neck was drenched in sweat. And then
but they were all hot.
But at the end, her neck was clear of it. Like, it's weird. Like, if you go back and watch, there was a scene where it was literally, it wasn't a scene where she was by herself. It was like when they all came together, her neck was drenched. And then when they finished out, it was like clear. So
I do remember that. But you have to also understand that, like, yes, we do shoot this 2 or 3 times.
Of course. And that's why because she was drenched. I mean,
so we're not worried about continuity. We're worried about performance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right, Tez? Am I right, baby? Like, let me know if I'm wrong.
But I also, like, piggybacking off of what Tez is saying, though, I also wonder, because there are people in the chat room saying this too. I don't get that Tina's performance was that bad. Like, I actually really enjoyed her performance. I noticed that she seemed to not know all the words, but she had the biggest part. So it's like,
Can I say something? Yeah. Tina Burner, and I'm saying this on our show, Tina Burner carried the show. That's something that I would want to see in a vaudeville performance. That's something that I want to see in Chicago. That's something I want to see at, Hamburger Mary's if they're doing a Broadway night. When Tina Burner did the what they say, the forgot you didn't sing the rest of the song. I've seen vaudeville shows where they do like long, like what do you call it, like runs of vocals or whatever, and if it's too long they would do like a jokingly thing, like where they would like take their hat off or read a book or whatever, like doing something during that time of them like running the song and then catch back into. So I thought it was Tina Burner being funny because I've seen shows of vaudeville that's done that before, but when they said, oh, you didn't sing the rest of the song, I thought they got that from like vaudeville. But
interesting. Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No. And it makes me wonder what take that the judges were watching that we weren't seeing or something, like from what you guys are saying, it's like, okay, they film it multiple times. Well, was there one version where she was just horrendous? Because that I didn't. Yes, I can understand that, maybe she wasn't mouthing all the words, but she had the hugest part and it was actually really entertaining. So I just didn't care.
And it was accurate. She knew all her words.
Well,
so
here's one other thing, not saying that whether she deserved it or not, but if you think about everybody else, I feel like everybody else was better than Tina. I don't know that necessarily she was the worst, but I think Elliot nailed it. I thought Utica nailed it. I thought, who else was safe? Who was the third person that was safe?
What's her
Olivia?
name?
Did we already say
Olivia.
Olivia.
Yeah, I thought all of them really did well. And so
And you didn't think that Tina carried the show?
I honestly, when she first came out, I was like, oh wow, great, you know, da-da-da.
Yeah.
But once
It got old.
It
was repetitive.
Yeah. Once it kept going, other people started taking my attention away from her. So that
I feel like with
I'm
Tina
with you,
Burner,
Jayla. I'm with you, Jayla.
I feel like with Tina Burner, we were just she had a lot of roles. I think she had the biggest role. So we were forced to see her throughout. But every time she came out, I wasn't excited. Like I was like, oh, Tina. Now I do agree. I don't think she should have been in the bottom. I don't think her that little 3 to 5 word thing was correct. I think honestly, I don't know. Other than those two, like I think Tina could have just been safe, honestly, because to put her in the bottom is kind of like wow. Like she did have a large role. She did a really good job. Not taking
like she did an amazing job. Come on, guys. Like, is anybody here with me? Like
I'm with you,
am
Jayla.
like, okay. Because I know that she did an amazing job. Like the way that she carried that show, Tina Burner put herself back on the map this episode. Like, I don't care what y'all say.
Yeah, that burner went out.
Yeah.
I think
Lorayne, I love you so much, but baby, we're gonna disagree this episode. Like,
I don't necessarily think that she was horrible. I just, of everybody who's after Candy and Simone, everybody else, I really liked stuff about them. And because she stopped singing, if you do watch it back, she does stop singing and she dies, even though the voice is going. And I didn't notice it at first. I had to go, when I watched it the second time, I rewound and watched it again. And she does. She stopped. So again, that's what I'm saying is like, I don't care if it's a little nitpicky thing, especially because everybody, like, what were you going to put Olivia in the bottom for then? What would you put Utica in the bottom for then? What would you put,
that's true.
Everybody else in the
I
bottom?
I would have put Utica in the bottom. And that's not because I don't like Utica. It's because that song, I am the very picture of the modern Major General. It's a song from Pirates of Penzance that if she was picking it out, I'm like, I don't know how she didn't know that this was going to be a fast song like this. And she performed it well, but it did not sound good at all. And I think that has to be taken into consideration,
Okay. Yeah.
I think overall what my quick thoughts are just like, I think they're picking at straws at this point.
Yeah.
Or I think the purpose of this episode was to kind of show that don't underestimate the B squad, the girls that you sent home in the pork chop station, because literally everyone in this episode was from the A team who won the lip sync in the first episode. So you had Candy, Tina, and Simone, who were all like, so it was kind of like, I think the purpose of this episode, now that I think of it, now that everyone's giving their opinion, I think it was to humble those girls that won in the first episode and show that don't underestimate these other queens because they're here and they did exceptionally well. And I agree. I was shocked that Tina was in the bottom too, but it's like picking at straws. How are you going to put like the other queens that are a little bit more memorable or did something that stood out a little bit more than Tina, So I think that's like my 2 cents in the matter.
Well, I feel like ultimately we are babying these US queens. And we
in what
are
way?
In a way of the judging is inconsistent.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. We also saw this last season. We also seen this in previous seasons, but I do think that the queens here for season 13 United States are being babied and carried along and dragged along for the sake of, for professionalism or saving grace or saving face. I was able to check and see what the viewers were thinking because I'm always into the tea, and everybody, 80% of the viewers are saying that this is a carry along. The show is being dragged out. B, we're holding everybody's hand to the finish line.
Mhm.
You know, like Rue hasn't said anything about effing H&M to any of the girls here. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? So we're all like, skip to my loo to the end.
Yeah.
But where is the actual judging? Because the girls now are wearing the same outfits 5 and 6 times in different ways. And we're not saying anything because that's their aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
What Jayla,
where are we?
I just want to tell people what Jayla is referring to when she was talking about no H&M. If you don't watch Drag Race UK or can't watch it, Rue kind of goes off on one of the contestants because she admits that her costume for the challenge was bought at H&M. And Rue lays into the girls and is like, look, if you're going to buy stuff from H&M, you need to bedazzle it. You need to do this to it. You shouldn't be just walking out on stage, you know, belt it and you know, be done with it. I don't, and so obviously they weren't given costumes like our girls are for that particular challenge either. So that's what she's referring to when she said the no H&M.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. The only ones that we didn't really talk about for the performance, which again, like as I was watching it, I kept like, there was a moment where I was like, Utica's going to be in the top. Utica's going to be in the top. And then Elliot went, and I loved Elliot's part. I don't know if it was because of the sound and the vibe of it. I just thought she nailed it. If you watched her, like when they're in the group part, she was like doing like selfies and doing stuff like what the character would have done.
Yeah,
I thought she nailed it. Then the Russian bots came out, and it literally did kind of change. Like I felt like they had to get them in the top, so I understood the reason behind that. Did you guys like that?
I think that the twins were a perfect match because Gottmik and Denali are kind of aesthetically the same. Skinny white boys with black hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was perfect for them to do that thing. The accent thing, I'm sure that Katya is proud somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, it was like super Russian. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And this is the thing. Okay, this reminds me of the time when I saw that Trinity Taylor was going to be on season 9 of Drag Race. I've worked with Trinity a million times before Drag Race, and she was always like this quiet, like individual soul. So I was nervous. I was like, is she going to get pulled out of that? So seeing Gottmik in this like mix of today, I was like, is she going to pull this off? And absolutely did. I absolutely loved the Russian twins. It was great. It was amazing. It was spot on. And they didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Excuse my French for the viewers and listeners.
We marked this adult anyway.
We marked it explicit.
Oh, okay. So this is our uncut after dark theme. Oh, I love it. Okay. So
anybody else want to talk about the Russian bots before we move on?
Yeah, I thought they were great. I thought that Gottmik got praised because she was able to, because I think she was originally seemingly going to fail. I feel like that's what it was edited to look like. But especially being next to Denali, who could dance and do all this choreography and stuff like that. But the fact that she was able to match her energy and in some ways still stood out on her own, I think that's why she was praised. And so I applaud her for putting her up there. I think she deserved to be in that, to get some recognition for that, because I thought she was going to fumble. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Jackie or Ollie, anything?
I really enjoyed them. I think they were the standouts. Obviously, Rosé killed it. But I was thinking the way that they were kind of framing it, I was wondering if they were going to actually make those two win and Rosé to cause drama. So that's what I was thinking. I'm like, the Russian bots are going to get it. And Rosé is going to be so angry in like the next episode or something. But they didn't go that route. But I was also a little surprised that, like, I think in the rehearsal, thinking back, they didn't have the guitars. Like, they had the guitars for like the entire time, if I remember correctly. And in rehearsal, they never practiced with the guitar. So that's why I agree with, I think, Tez, you said it like, oh, Gottmik is going to fail in this episode. but like they never,
Yeah.
they always had their instruments. So I thought that was really interesting that, and then I feel like we've talked about this before on our podcast, how they do some of these moves that they don't actually end up really incorporating and doing out in the final performance. So it seemed like their choreography was actually pretty easy, but at the same time, I thought they really did do a great job, especially coming in at the end and having such a comedic performance. You remembered them, and like, Rose did a great job. She killed it. I'm happy she won. Yeah. I almost thought it was going to go in a different direction, with those two, like having a double win. But
Jackie?
Oh, I loved it. I love the Russian bots. I thought it was a blast, and I love that they were having a blast. I think that whenever
you could tell that they were.
Yeah, whenever the queens are having a good time, you just want to have a good time with them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Do we talk at all about like just Candy's in general? Like, because they were talking, Candy's issue they said was the wig. And they said everything about, and you all were saying that this attire was given from production. So with that being the issue behind her performance, mostly they said the hair was in her face, they said she's focused on her clothes. Like, what did you guys think about her performance? I didn't really understand, especially from the rehearsal. I guess Jamaal watched, choreographing it and then seeing her miss some steps, but like, what were you guys' thoughts about Candy's performance in general?
I thought it was bad. Ooh. I mean, I understood I understood everything they said. And she even has a little breakdown, like she has that thing in Untucked where she just can't understand why. And then she's like, if they can't see my face, that's not my fault. Really, girl? Really? That's not your fault? Cheap. Like, come on. I mean, you're never gonna really get much sympathy from me, from me. So
I have learned that I'm going to always redact my statements about the queens here on this show on Drag Race TV LA. So if she was in the bottom, it was a reason why she was in the bottom.
I think that she definitely deserved to be in the bottom. And I also, well, now we're getting into the runway. I was thinking this too with Tina, is that maybe her runway also is, because they do factor in both of those things when they're picking the tops and bottoms, and she says that. And I didn't think Elliott definitely did it better. So
can we talk about that? Oh, when we get to the runway, I have to talk about this. Okay, it's super important. Yeah,
I'll intro it, which is the category for runway was yellow gorgeous.
I love that. Love the theme.
Jamaal Sims stayed as a judge, and it was Michelle and Ross. Also, I thought it was funny that when Ru came out to talk to them, they didn't talk back. They were all on their cell phones while she was doing it, which I thought was a cute little touch. And I thought Ru looked amazing and had a purse, which I thought was I don't know that she's ever had a purse on the runway, so that might have been
first time.
First time, yeah.
So it was Coach. The Coach bags that they did from the couple of episodes ago.
Yeah,
right.
I thought that.
Yeah. So we'll start with you, Jayla, since you have something to say. But let's talk.
No. I want to go. Jackie, Ollie, Tez.
Okay. Jackie, go ahead. Runway, do you want to talk about your tops and bottoms?
Yes. I loved Olivia's. I thought it was very like glam, old Hollywood. I love that kind of style. She had a very, like the whole thing to me was just like a perfect old Hollywood, gorgeous, classy look. And I loved it. Utica, I thought that was a lot of fun. I love that, she was talking about she has such quirky random references that I appreciate. She was like, this is a 14th century sideless gown. And so it's not something I knew about. And I thought it looked perfect and fun on her. Got Mick. I love the crash test dummy because that's like, I like it when people pick a yellow thing, so I appreciated that. I appreciated that there were people dressed up as taxis because that was yellow. I kind of wish there was a bumblebee somewhere in there, maybe a sexy bumblebee. The only one that I will say that I was like, was Simone's, because Simone keeps doing this thing where she wears like half an outfit and it feels, and I'm not saying she's done this in the beginning. She had some really great, strong outfits to start with. And now it feels like we've said this about, I think like 2 episodes now, where she's just relying on her body. And this one, it felt like the straps were like falling all over the place. I did love the like Versace wrap that she had, but I just wish the underlying outfit had some sort of like boobs or structure or something other than just straps, because it felt like more of like, again, like, I have a nice body, here's my nice body, you know?
Well, I guess H&M dresses are not okay, but the jacket's okay with Versace. Tez, what did you think about the runway?
My favorite was Got Mix. I really think that Tina's taste is very cheesy. I think that she is so literal with what she does, and it's always flat, in my opinion. Because I'm thinking about this with the taxi, and now I'm thinking about the train runway. She was like, "Was the conductor?" And it's like she's so literal to go to what we would automatically think to do, and it's done in the most simplest way. Like I don't really like it. So for that, I thought she had one of the weakest, in my opinion. Like as far as Samoa, I didn't think it was bad. But I do agree, like we said, line on body. And like with her, she needs more of a concept, in my opinion. I feel like with her, it's very just an outfit.
Yeah.
So maybe her and Tina should collab.
Right.
And as far as everyone else, like I thought Olivia's was okay. You know, I think she added something with the sleeve. I don't think it added much, but I think I saw a picture of Cabora Hall's like look, and it was similar, except for the arm thing. She's not on the show, obviously, but I mean, it was just kind of a gown. Denali and her snakes. It was okay. It was okay. I really like the all colored runways. I like the purple one. My favorite was the orange one, like 2 seasons, was it 2 seasons 11 or whatever? So I'm always excited when they do these because I like to see what interpretation the girls give. So I thought it was okay runway.
Okay. Ollie?
I agree. I like it when they do the one solid color kind of runway. I really like Got Mix. I sound like a broken record. I think everyone here likes Got Mix. Shout out to the chat, Prince. Cyrax. She was giving us Cyrax from Mortal Kombat. Yes.
Yes, she was.
Yes. No one did Tanya. What the heck? But yeah, it's always fun to see like what color they're going to use and what kind of concept they're going to go for. I was honestly disappointed with Denali's. I thought the headpiece was great, but I was like, what is that outfit? It's just like, I don't know. I was like, okay, you're trying
brunch.
Like, okay, yes, you're doing the Britney snake from I'm a Slave for You. Like, yes, okay, but like, what was that? Like the headpiece was like the only good thing about that look. But I don't really have much to say other than like, I agree with Jackie. Olivia is one to watch out for. Like I realized I was like, yeah, she's gonna go home early. Psh. The girl is fierce. She can sing, she can dance, she's funny. Like this girl ain't going nowhere. So she also looked really breathtaking on the runway. So I have to retract what I said a couple episodes back. I'm like, Olivia's going, she's going. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the runway. It was a fun runway.
Yeah. Jayla,
all right, here we go. Thank you guys for listening to Jayla's Jolts live in Studio City. Okay, here we go. So Utica, I absolutely loved her explanation of the dress. I love the dress. I love the production of the dress. Great. It's meh, so next. Rose, I love the mask theme. That's one of my favorite movies. I really wish she would have had the actual pantsuit. Pants on the runway saves you every single time. If it's clean, if it's done well, have the pantsuit with the feather hat. Perfecto. Missed the mark. The outfit was orange compared to everybody else.
Agreed.
For me, I would have came as Bumblebee. I would have been a transformer. So I would have came out as a car and then stand up and become Bumblebee, the yellow. You know what I mean? Like that would have been my look, honestly. Denali, I wish that the snakes would have been bigger because the judges are sitting far back. I can't tell what that is. to me, is ramen noodles.
Yeah.
You know, I want the snakes to look like snakes. You're Medusa. You're the biggest. You're the goddess. You're a Greek god. You know what I mean? Like, make it bigger. Now, Elliot, let's talk about Elliot. I don't have Twitter, but I did find this out. Elliot said that her inspiration was from The Wiz. Now, do you guys know what The Wiz is?
Mm-hmm.
It's the Wizard of Oz, the People of Colors version. Diana Ross, Michael Jackson. The taxis in The Wiz refuse to pick up Black people. So here we are again talking about Elliot with 3 Ks.
Gotcha.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I didn't. I remember when she says it on the show that that's what she was inspired by, and it took me a minute because I was like, I didn't remember that part of The Wiz. I mean, I saw it a long time ago.
I mean, it was like glazed over, but it was,
definitely.
if you watch it now, you're gonna go, oh, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like they were trying to find a ride in the taxi, like drives right past, you know. Yeah. And that is what she said. But you have to understand that The Wiz was about BIPOC people finding their way. And for the taxis to not pick up Black people in The Wiz, for Elliot to say, my outfit was inspired by The Wiz.
Yeah.
Here we are again, every week. And I'll move on. We'll talk about it later in the comments or whatever. Feel free. Simone, the suspenders should have been pink. I would have been drippy. I would have had the design like drippy pink rather than just straight suspenders. Because that yellow looks so beautiful on her skin.
I know.
Make it look drippy. Make it look like you. Make it look a part of that. Got Mick, my #1 favorite of all time. This is also compared to Denali's airbag and the bag ball, because she also did a crash dummy.
Right.
Got Mick, all pleather, all leather. Absolutely right. Tina Burner. She had LED lights in her hat that lit up the taxi sign. She had the LED lights on her boobs. She had the train. She was the most accurate taxi that I've seen ever in life. And I feel like she should have won. She would have done her last little 2 seconds of her Rusical, and this, she would have won the challenge. Tina Burner, like, I'm a fan after this week.
I don't know. I think I kind of agreed with Tez. I think she gets just too literal. Like the things on the boobs, like she didn't even try to make them like blend into the costume. She just literally stuck push lights on her chest. You know what I mean? Like it's that detail stuff that I think, and I don't know, I thought of this as you guys were talking. Would you rather see a queen come out? This is for me. I want to know your answer to this so I can be prepared for 15. Would you rather a queen, let's just say a color challenge, would you rather them come out in a blue like outfit that they've kind of created, like whether it be a gown like Simone, like Olivia or Simone, or would you rather see like a taxi like Tina or a crash dummy like Mick? Let's start with Tez. Tez, which would you rather see?
You said so. Got Mick, or what was the first one?
Like more of a costume or more of a fashion?
I would do more fashion. I think you can, like, I think someone just said in the comments, I'm reading it, they were saying like the challenge, you know, Tina may have been a taxi, but was her look an attractive, nice, appealing look for the runway? And right. Like, it's all about taste, I guess, personal taste. Honestly, I know that she may have had more things going on than Elliot, but honestly, her look was more pleasing to my eye, Elliot versus Tina. But that's just my eyes. You know, my eyes are different.
I think we might have lost Jayla temporarily. We'll try and get her back. Jackie, what would you prefer? More costumey or more? I feel like you would like more costumey than fashion.
I personally would, but I feel like it has to make sense for the queen. Like if like I loved Olivia's old Hollywood look because I felt like that was true to Olivia and her aesthetic. I don't want to see Olivia coming out in like a banana suit or something. You know, I just don't feel like that would make any sense. So, you know, if it was like me on the runway, of course I'm going to pick the like campy thing that matches the color. Like if it's blue, maybe I'll come out as like Veruca Salt giant blueberry or something, you know. But if I'm a fashion queen, I want to see the fashion queens do their fashion queen thing because I don't want everybody to be the same.
But see, this is where I don't know. I feel like it needs to be a little bit of both because I feel like if you know, like Simone, like I don't know. I feel like she's just always doing kind of like you were saying, Tez, like it's a lot of the same. I'm just going to show a lot of skin, throw on a Versace coat and get away with it. Although she did do the fun, the big Diana Ross look with the big boobs. So I guess that was kind of campy for her. I don't know. I guess I just kind of, I feel like it, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like if you're going to do...
I just have to say that like all is revealed when Snatch Game arrives.
Yeah, true. I agree. Ollie, would you ever see fashion or costume on the...
Regarding the colors?
Well, but just in general, I just use color as an example for...
Well, I think ultimately you have to have like a mix, like what was Jackie was saying. It's gonna depend on the queen, or hopefully like it's not. Hopefully it's like what I think what you said previously with Denali. You're kind of disappointed because it's always like, oh, okay, what am I gonna do this week? And it doesn't feel like Denali, you know. So I guess that's hopefully what I don't see like when it comes to kind of like those themes. Like you want to see a queen embody a runway that speaks true to their art.
Yeah.
You know, and not something that feels forced. So I think it all just has to feel right with the queen, whatever garment they're presenting on the runway. So
you know what's also happening is that we are disregarding personality.
Totally. We said that with Lala. You know, I said I would rather watch Lala come down in that bag garment because I love her. I love her personality.
She's fun.
She's fun. Then see, you know, not that I dislike Simone, but just, you know what I mean? Like, but somebody that's in a Versace jacket and that has no personality, you know? So, last thing with the runway, let's get a show of hands if you think it was orange.
It was mustard.
It
was definitely a mustard-ish or a...
It was mustard. She did not pick pastel yellow. She picked mustard yellow.
But if the runway is yellow, shouldn't you be able to give different shades of yellow?
Well,
my main issue with it wasn't even like, is it a different shade of yellow? I agree with Jayla where it's like, you're doing the mask. Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you make the outfit
with the hat with the feather? Like,
it was just that was
or even like
disappointing.
Have the mask before you put it on. Like, you know, the green, like a little crinkly wood thing. Have that on with your eyelashes going through the mask, and then take it off, and then you know, either be green or be painted.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like. Pants on the runway, they make it seem like it's a bad thing, but if it's hemmed correctly, if it's done correctly, if it's polished, you will win every single time.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Don't make everything about being a girl. Make it about the fashion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they should wear men's pants, but yes, I agree.
But even a bell bottom or even like a straight leg, like European cut with the shoulders, something like that with full yellow. That's amazing. It's all fashion. So, and that's probably why I'm not on the show, because I know.
We'd watch you if you were on the show.
We could, Jayla, we
Waiting
should
for the
audition
Jayla
for
Roxx and
15
Lorayne love
together.
season.
Yeah. Jayla, we can do 15 together.
Oh, please.
Well, I think we were so focused on, was it orange or yellow, that honestly, like the concept, the movie, I thought it was golden, because I would have never thought to do that. But I like the reference. So personally, Michelle tried to read everybody for the orange, whatever. It was yellow, and that is the end of the debate.
Yeah.
Well, I disagree. Well, every week we get on here and we rate the runway, we rate the challenges. Why
No
don't
one talked
you
about
guys
Candy.
who are listening?
She
and
looked great.
watching-
I should say Candy did look great.
No one talked about Candy again.
I thought she looked great. It just wasn't my favorite one out of all of them.
Well,
I think-
I knew she was doomed when she said she was going to be Beyonce, and I was like, you should not do Beyonce.
I would have came out with a crystal bat. Crystal.
Yeah, exactly.
Fully
Exactly.
rhinestone bat, and would have been like swing, swing,
Exactly.
lemonade, swing, swing,
She's
lemonade.
always missing something.
The
Always
mark.
one thing missing.
Missing the mark. Thank you for understanding me, Tez.
Yeah, we agree once a week.
Once a week. That's all you get is once.
Well, I think the fact that we forgot to discuss her is point enough.
Ooh, honey, first the shade, but where the shade button at, honey?
There it is.
Rattlesnake.
The tops this week were Rose, Denali, and Gottmik. Bottoms were Simone, Candy, and Tina. And this was the first, someone mentioned this earlier, all three bottoms were from the winning group from earlier in the season, which was a first as well. The lip sync song was Boss by Fifth Harmony, ended up being Simone and Candy. Tina ended up being safe. And there was a little surprise, spoiler alert, a little surprise twist.
Was it really?
No,
Was it
I
really?
knew. As soon as I saw that it was the two of them, I was like, they're not sending either of them home.
Yeah,
I
that's
knew
what I
it
said too.
instantly. I was a little thrown.
That's
because
exactly what I said.
She told her to go, so I kind of got thrown. I was
She
like,
never
oh.
said sashay away.
Yeah.
So let's have a debate here, because there are people that are saying that it was a double shantay, and there are some that are saying it was not a double shantay, that she was just asked to slay another day. That Simone won the lip sync according to Ruth.
No,
and
it was
that-
double shantay because
Okay. Yes.
she.
What do you
okay,
think it was?
the obvious reason is because RuPaul never said sashay away.
He did.
That's no.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
obvious.
she did.
He did.
Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Yep.
Yeah, he definitely said sashay away. And then he said, wait, I'm not ready for you to go yet. That's what he did.
Okay,
So
there's
that's
also a spectacle that like the producers were cussing her out in the ear and saying, "What are you doing?" But I don't know. I don't know that stuff. I wasn't there. But I also like saw like based off the edit, they both had like moments that Rue was like there. You know what I mean? Like that's how you lip sync for your life. That's what we want. So if you do good, and I was watching it with my friends, and I was like, they're definitely going to save them both. And they were like, oh no, they're definitely not going to keep them both. And I was like, they're going to save them both. Next thing you know, Rue was like, you both stay. But guess what? The fans aren't happy.
No, they're not, actually.
No.
But they're 50-50.
I am the fans.
they're 50-50.
Unhappy.
It's
Well,
Tez and Ollie.
you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing people say that actually Candy did win. And I'm seeing people
No,
upset
yeah,
that,
for sure.
that she
50-50.
should just be going home, based off of like why was she saved and what things like that. And my understanding, like you did not send anyone home for 3 weeks. So it's like, why are we having all these saves? Like if you say spoon feeding, babying, like that's what I like about UK is that they got in it. They're almost at the end. They're about to be done. Honestly, like that's what we need to see. Like I understand COVID and losing is a new winning, but honestly, she should have just said double shantay, because to do that and say, no way, I want you to stay. Why? Because Candy has been.
What do you mean
underperforming
why?
since the
We want to see a TV show.
No, because let me say this, that's fine, but at least give us a performance. Candy has underperformed since she got on the TV, in my opinion. In the lip sync, I don't think she lip synced for life. She moved around and her dress was flying everywhere and her hair. I didn't see not one word come from her mouth. So I don't know exactly what they saw that we from what I saw, but honestly, she should be going home. She is not giving anything but a good fight to someone else who's gone home. Since then, she's fixed her image. So what drama can she possibly give at this point? Honestly,
I agree 100%.
Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, let's ask her right now. Please welcome to the stage, Candy Mule.
Bring it in, Candy.
I think they know that I would never let that happen.
I'm not like bashing like that. I just feel like
no, we're never bashing the girls. We're talking about the week. So that's the thing. Like, we get so much hate, and you know, I'm going to talk about it right now because, like, I'm going to talk about it firsthand. Is like, we are here doing a job. We're talking about the show per week. We see the same thing that the fans view. So the fact that we have an opinion about this stuff does not mean that we do not have faith in you. We don't want you to win. We don't want you to succeed. We're talking about it per week. So for y'all to send me DMs about X, Y, and Z, about me being mean-spirited and X, Y, and Z, you get so much praise on this show. Our little opinions should not matter.
Yeah,
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, we're coming from a place of experience, growth, understanding, unity. So, like, what's the problem?
Well,
We're just here to critique a show.
And I think, and I think that why people like watching us, and thank you again to everybody who's in the chat room, who listens and downloads and supports us. We love you for it. I think the reason that they really do come here is because they know that if they watch a World of Wonder recap or one of the queens recapping it, they're not going to say the things that the fans are going to say. You know, we're all passionate about it because we love drag. I mean, I'm putting this on in my living room during quarantine for the last how many weeks because I enjoy doing it. And so I think, you know, Jayla is a performer as well. We come from a place of we want again, I think we want everybody to do well. So, you know, yes, we get angry and frustrated and we yell and, you know, but that's what this is for. And that's why we love when you guys are in the chat room and, you know, agreeing with us and disagreeing with us. That's what's so much fun about this. And what made Afterbuzz work, I think, was it was fans. It wasn't, you know, about the show having control of what was being said. So keep that in mind.
I stand with being wrong. You stand with being wrong sometimes. And we either redact our statements or we stand with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, I really appreciate us being honest about the things that we want to talk about because that's what we're here to do.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. All right, so let's get back into it. There are some mirror moments that came up and some stuff in the Untucked that I think we should discuss. We had kind of mentioned already, but it was finally discussed on the show that Tina was in a relationship with Graham Norton. So that came up and she talked about that a little bit. And then the other thing, which I guess kind of ties into what we were just saying is, you know, they started talking about hate on social media and how people are going after people. Candy discussed, you know, the Aja Valentina drama and how for years after Aja was getting, you know, stuff, you know, I think it was good that they talk about it. People are going to keep doing it. You're never going to silence people. It's a matter of learning how to turn it off. And just, you know, I think the best advice that Raven ever gave me was to stop reading the comments, to stop going on and seeing what people have to say. I use those mute things on social media like crazy. Like I don't even see people's stuff anymore. I see Jackie, Ollie, Jayla, and Tez on my Instagram now. That's about it. Like honest to God, like I have whittled it down to seeing so few that I'm glad that they talked about it. You know, do you guys have anything more on that?
Social media. Sorry, I just think that I'm glad that you do that because I think a lot of people read too much into social media. I love it. It's a way I can stay connected with you guys, but I think a lot of people take it too heart, too personally, and it's just like a filter. Even the stuff that I post, you only see like that part of my life. You'll see a selfie, and like you forget like what that person's going through mentally or emotionally, physically, whatever their environment that they might be in. And so I think some people my message is just to like turn it off a little bit. Like don't go on Instagram all the time, enjoy the good things in your life with your friends, whoever you're with, especially during times like these. Yes, I love it. It's a way I can express myself and hopefully entertain people. We're on social media right now,
Yeah.
But also just don't let it take over you. Don't let it make you feel negatively. Use it for the positives that it brings in your life, but don't too much of anything is a bad thing, I'll say. So
Agreed. Yeah. Anybody else?
That's why I don't have Twitter. It was very like, damaging to my life. You know what I mean? Because every week I would get like some type of like hate mail, and I'm just like, but I'm doing great. You know what I mean? Like in life, physically, emotionally, and like, all those things. So like having people tell me what they think they know about me based off of TV show and X, Y, and Z, I don't need it. And I try to filter all those things out. So changing your algorithm as well. Yeah. I follow people that inspire me, that also make me feel like I can do this too. I don't follow titties and ass anymore because I know that that's not like ideal or, self-proclaimed gym people. So I try to make sure I change my algorithm to those who inspire me and like-minded so I can learn from these people. So,
I mean, when I figured out that you can mute someone's stories, just their stories. When their thing on top, they don't come up anymore. You can mute them on the feed. And I'm just like, oh, so now I don't have to unfollow them. I can just mute, and even temporarily. And I've done that with some friends where they just are posting all this stuff that I'm like, it gets redundant. And I'm just like, I don't want to see it somewhere. So I'll mute it for a while. And then I'll come back and go, oh, I wonder how they're doing. I'll unmute it, watch it for a while. And then I'll mute it. Like, take advantage of those things. Like and I think that's to the other queens, on the show, again, was the best advice Raven ever gave me, was to stop reading comments because it was traumatic. It was really traumatic. I laugh now, but it was tough at the time, which Jayla, I know you understand. One last thing that I think we should discuss is the new budding love affair between Rose and Denali. Jackie, what did you think about this when you heard this?
I agreed. I mean, I agreed with Rose saying, it seems like we have a lot in common. They do, though. I mean, they're both kind of like theatrical people. They have a similar aesthetic. But, sometimes, oh my God. Sometimes though, when I see these like showmances, like what happened with Brooklyn and Vanjie, it is hard for me to say, like, is this something you came up with for the camera? Like, I know that there is honestly a friendship there, but I'm like, I can't tell if it's something that, it's just because they're all quarantined here together in this place, or if it's like something you made up for the camera or what. So, I mean, to me, I'm always waiting for that moment where what happens after the show. Yeah. Because I think that's when the real,
I think y'all are overlooking the other couple. Do you know who the other couple is?
Who?
Candy and Joey J?
No. Come on, give me one more guess. One more guess and I'll tell you.
Is it Olivia and somebody?
Yes.
And Utica.
Thank you. Ding, 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 ding. It's Olivia and Utica. I'm so ready for them to smash.
You heard it here first. Breaking news. I love that. Well, that was the episode. We made it through pretty painlessly. Now, I wanted this next week. We're not sure what's happening. when I watched it, live,
special.
they showed the special. But then when I watched it today again on demand, the trailer, it was the teaser for Snatch Game. So I don't know if we're gonna get both or we're just gonna get the special. I mean, the special is definitely happening next week. I just don't know if they're doing it also with the other episode. So if there is an episode, if there's an episode, we'll be here.
I did watch the pit stop, you know, like Trixie. She did say that there was a 2-week break. Like we're gonna come back after. I think if I remember, I watched it today.
Okay.
So
we won't do this next Sunday. We'll take a week off and then we'll be back for the following week for Snatch Game.
Right.
We will mention the special, but it's just when there are these, you know, special episodes or reunion episodes, it's hard for us to make enough content.
There's usually just not much. And we can talk about it on the
following
episode. Yeah. And we might maybe we'll go a little bit longer instead of an hour and a half, maybe do a little bit longer to get in some of that stuff if we need to. And if you guys have any questions for us, now is the time. Jot them down in the chat room. We're going to do some more business at hand. I'm going to do my quote of the week. My quote of the week this week. I was like, what did I put? I knew I wrote something, but I don't remember what I was. Was early in the episode when Candy was taking off her costume. And she says, I have a womanly figure. And Denali says, you got a womanly figure of Mrs. Potato Head.
Wait a minute. Now we love Miss Potato Head now. She wears Batman cosmetics. So
as she should. I love that. I thought it was a perfect quote of the week. And thank you, because I thought I was gonna have to retire my segment. Jackie, who are our fans of the week?
So we have 3 fans of the week this week. The first one is One Icon Pick, who loved Lorraine's hair last week.
Thank you. I almost wore it again because it's like my new favorite hair. So I'll wear it again.
And then the second fan of the week is capital HIM, who wrote Bing Bang Bong, Sing Sang Song.
Have you guys all heard the song?
I love it. I'm so addicted to it.
I love it.
Obsessed. Sorry, Jackie, go ahead.
It's a true bop. I had to make you fan of the week just because of that. It was a blast.
Yeah.
And then Thunder Goddess says that she also loves UK. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is good. Speaking of UK, for our news and gossip, every week I'm going to keep doing it. If you haven't watched it, go watch UK Drag Race. It's so good. I convinced a friend in Atlanta to start watching it, so he keeps texting me now. He started on season 1 though, because he never saw season 1. So he's watching season 1 and then he's going to watch season 2. Can't recommend it enough. Also, Bing Bang Bong, please go and download I preferred the UK Dolls, United King Dolls version, UKD. It was kind of like last season with the Frock Destroyers. It's just such a good song. It's called UK Hun. It's amazing. So download that, support them. I did add, Tez, I added the link again to our bio. If people want to go watch your interview with Ms. Tamisha Iman. I think I'm halfway through it. I fell asleep. I had it on in bed and I fell asleep. Not because it was boring. Not because of, no.
Shade button. Where's the shade button?
I'm out of here.
No, I'm like 80. So as soon as my head hits the pillow, I fall asleep. I try this every night. I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch something. And then I fall asleep watching it. So it had nothing to do with the content. I was actually mad that I fell asleep. So please watch it. The link is in the bio. Please. Also, Heidi has a new song out and Lala Ree has a new song out. So go check those out if you can.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything that I've left out or they saw that they wanted to share? Jayla, anything with Batme?
I'm going to be boring this week and pass.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna be boring this week.
One last thing. Because my friend was rewatching Drag Race UK season 1, I decided to go back and start rewatching it again. And I just want to say, for the record, we had a discussion last week about something. And on Snatch Game season 1, go back and rewatch it. Rue says, all tea, no shade. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, we gotta bring up old
corrected.
stuff.
I know.
Whatever. I'm still saying it the wrong way, and I'm gonna keep doing that.
Bring back my girls. Where they at?
Let's see. Are there any questions in here? Yeah, definitely get a WoW account if you haven't gotten one. Because there's some fun stuff on there. I don't watch all of it, but there's some documentaries and stuff on there too. All the fashion photo reviews are on there. Trixie and Katya show is on there. So yeah, no questions in the chat. So let's do this because there's not an episode next week. In 2 weeks will be Snatch Game. Who do we think will be going home next week after Snatch Game?
I'm not saying nothing. Last time I said somebody was going home, I got a nice, lovely DM. So I'm out of this.
Ollie, who do you think?
I think because this is a comedy improv challenge, I'm going to say Elliot with 3 Ks.
Oh, Lord, I'm getting out of here.
No, and it's funny, Elliot's like someone I've been thinking is going to go home, so maybe it's this time for Elliot to go home. I am worried for other queens like Simone, but I also think Simone's very funny. She was very funny in the improv challenge, so I'm not too worried about Simone. We'll see.
Tez, who do you think?
I think the same. Like, I feel like Elliot has been here long enough. I think maybe it's time for her to go home anyway. Between her or honestly, the way they keep snubbing Utica, even though she may not deserve to go home, I feel like they may be trying to send her home soon. So I mean, that's not who I want to go home. But I feel like, she's been snubbed like all these different ways. I feel like, well, one of them actually, but not to be ranked so in the bottom so many times. So I'm going to say between her or Elliot.
Jackie?
I think it's definitely going to be Elliot just because.
Oh, Lord.
And this isn't me also being mad about her being 3Ks or whatever, but this is like based on her performances. She hasn't done well in the acting challenges. She does really well dancing, but not acting. So I don't see how in an improv kind of thing where you have to be quick on your feet that she'll do very well.
I do think Elliot, I feel like it's her time. I feel like the other person might be somebody like Denali or Gottmik.
Rose.
Somebody, I feel like there's gonna be somebody that
Rose.
No, it won't be Rose.
I don't think it would be Rose.
Me neither.
I think it might be Denali. I don't know that she would do. It just depends. It depends who they're gonna do and stuff like that. Ollie, you look like you have something to say.
Real quick, did you see the preview for the Snatch Game? It pretty much showed everyone's character. I
didn't see it.
They did.
Don't spoil it for me.
Yeah, I won't. They did edit it. I won't say who did what, but they did edit it to make it seem like Utica was in trouble.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't seen the preview, so
yeah.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
That's editing, though. That's editing.
We do love Utica anyway.
Well,
and then,
if
I feel like the trailers tend to misguide us more so than anything. So I'll just leave it at that. All right, that's it. We made it through another episode. Let's go around the room. Let's start with Mr. Tez. Tell everybody where they can find you on the social medias.
Oh, you can find me on where can you find me? Oh, Instagram at Stupid Wild Tez or at the Lean Blog. And don't forget to watch the interview with Tamisha, especially if you're ready to go to bed, because that seems to be the best use for it.
Link in bio. The link is in the bio. Jackie, where can they find you?
At 123 Jackie B on all platforms.
And if anyone knows of an apartment in the Valley, Jackie's looking. So
I'm moving in with you.
You can move in with Dorit from Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Ooh,
got-
I love
Yeah.
that.
I got a room. I got a room. We can work something out. I don't know if your husband wants to live with a drag queen. But, Ollie, where can they find you on the social media?
You guys can find me on all platforms at Ollie Dreamer.
And Miss Jayla Roxx, where can they find
Yes,
you?
you can find my boring life at Who is Jayla Roxx? That's 2X's3 if you're nasty. And if you like all of our makeup tonight, make sure you shop batmecosmetics.com.
Please.
Now
Please.
on iTunes.
Yes. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lorayne Love, Lorayne Love. And I'm not even going to plug Mark's because he's irrelevant.
Well, you look amazing though. So tell the
Thank
girls.
you. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. We're going to take a little break. I'm going to untuck for 2 weeks. And we'll see you guys
Ooh.
for Snatch Game. Mwah. Love you all. Thank you for joining.